I'm Jill and I am living the midlife. Today I'd like to talk about books. The nice thing about being middle-aged is you give yourself permission to only read what you like. No more pressure to read those classics you see on those Facebook surveys so you can brag about how cultured you are. I am never going to read War and Peace. So what? However, the temptation can be to spend all our time reading, well, crap. Books like Girl in a Golden Bed or Scoundrel. I took these from a waiting room in a hospital. I'll probably read them, but I would not be caught dead checking them out at the library or buying them at a bookstore. So I guess I do care about what people think. So much for middle-aged confidence. But I don't think I'm alone, or else why would the sales of ebooks have skyrocketed in the last few years? When I'm reading on my Kindle, you don't know if I'm reading Moby Dick or 50 Shades of Grey. Unfortunately, in my experience, a lot of ebooks are the literary equivalent of straight-to-DVD movies. Entertaining maybe, but not really good enough to get the financial backing for a feature film. I can say that because I wrote one. 2-room flat, available for Kindle on Amazon.com. Shameless plug. But just like real junk food, it's too easy to get sucked into only reading literary junk food. So I'd like to share with you some books that I've enjoyed. I don't even like these. Edward Rutherfurd writes historical fiction that tells the development of a geographical location through the stories of generations of intertwined families. He is a master at blending fact with fiction, so you're learning real history while being entertained. My favorite books of his are Paris, New York, and London. You can see how big they are. Each novel encompasses hundreds of years of history, so they do take a while to get through, but they are so worth the read. Susanna Kearsley's books blend a modern-day story with historical fiction through the use of time travel. I admit the idea didn't appeal to me at first because time travel sounded too science fiction-y to me, but I'm so glad I picked them up. The history in these two take you back to the 1700s and the time of the Jacobite Rebellion, although half of the Firewood actually takes place in Russia, which is really fascinating. Her books are mysterious and touching and just lovely stories to escape into. If you're a Jane Austen fan, as I am, and you've already read every imitation of her stories out there, you might enjoy the Jane Austen Mysteries by Stephanie Barron. She creditably writes in the style of Jane Austen, and as the main character is Jane herself, she weaves the mysteries around real people, places, and events from Jane's life. I really admire Alexander McCall Smith's writing. The Scottish author is best known for his #1 Ladies Detective Agency series, but I actually couldn't really get into that one. The one I love is the 44 Scotland Street series. It follows the stories of several people and one dog as they live out their lives in Edinburgh, Scotland. What I like is that McCall Smith understands the human condition so well. His books are funny because he's adept at pointing out people's foibles and unique personality traits, but he does it with this gentle touch that shows you that he loves these characters even when they're at their most annoying. Last, if you want a nonfiction read, I recommend the witty, informative, and highly entertaining The Almost Nearly Perfect People by Michael Booth. I picked this up after hearing one too many times how the US should be more like Sweden or the Netherlands. Michael Booth is an English journalist who has lived in Denmark for 10 years. For this book, he traveled through Denmark, Iceland, Norway, Finland, and Sweden, interviewing everyone from government officials to country farmers. You'll learn about these 5 distinct countries while being immensely entertained. I'm always looking for book recommendations, so if you have some you'd like to share with me, put them in the comments below. Feel free to like the video and subscribe, and I will see you next time on Living the Midlife. Bye! I really don't. Where's my water? Or that wine?